You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything
Some
I'm
people open
reflecting
up their
in.
eyes and see the world they know outside. I can close my eyes and see all that and way beyond. When these trials of life come heavy and these obstacles get hard, feeling like I need some answers, I just go and talk to God. I just go and talk to God when I'm looking for guidance. Need more insight, need vision, need direction when I'm blinded. Then I start that conversation with that voice I hear inside me. And the conversation starts with a voice inside that sounds just like me when I talk to God.
See God in anything
When I talk to God.
find God in anything.
When I talk to God.
See God in anything.
When I talk to
I
God.
can find God in anything.
When I talk to God.
See God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in.
My daddy said don't ever assume, ask questions. It's ironic it was that advice that helped this song happen. It was also that advice that led me to my life's blessings. That same advice helped me make it through life's lessons. It was that advice that separates grown-ups away from children. That advice can be the difference from knowing or just believing. It was that advice that brought the gavel down on my decision of breaking the mental chains of this man created religions. His faith and belief, nonsense, the biggest scam ever. I hate to say it, I swear this one hell of a mental illness. We don't believe no other time. Why we do it with these religions? The fact that COVID's killing while all of these guys is missing. A lot of hide and seek, peekaboos. Guys playing games with you. I'ma just assume he ain't got no COVID miracles. Maybe he ran out after making the donkey talk, or them stories about a guy walking on water tides. This is simply a distraction to keep you away from you and to look outside for a guy when the God is inside of you. When you close your eyes at night to pray to that voice you talking to, when you ready to face the truth, you realize that that voice is you.
You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. Halito. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Y'all know if I'm up this early, and I'm doing a live, it's got to be something that just irritated my soul, you know. I had to come live just to get some shit off my chest, you know, just to get things off my chest. Many of you know my stance on religion. Y'all know where I stand with religion. Y'all know I come from a religious family. Um, y'all know my parents are still preachers, right? And you know, at some point, we gotta wake up out of the fairy tale, you know. But before I go on, about what I want to go into, there's something I want y'all to take into consideration. And this is what I want y'all to take into consideration. I did a song called Isaiah 45:7. And I want y'all to take this into consideration before I go forward with this live.
In the beginning, man created God. Then all the problems started. I remember being young, and I used to always wonder, why wouldn't God just kill the devil? And as I got older, that's when I learned balance.
If there's an up, then there's gotta be down. If there's an in, then there's gotta be out. If there is joy, then there's gotta be pain. If there's a sun, then there's gotta be rain. If this sounds familiar, then look all around you. Balance is everywhere, even your Bible. I got some truth that might bring some folk pain. This is the universe, yin and the yang. The truth don't still always be truth, good or bad, when it's all done and finished. That's just the real deal fact of life, we're dealing with truth. When that truth don't show up when it's ready. Low when wearing wiser, the visit ain't always appealing. Sometimes no warning is given. The fact you should know about truth is it don't move off feelings. Sometimes the truth don't come pretty. There's so many games being played in religion. A lot of lies told in God's name with agendas. Most of these pastors ain't nearly authentic. A lot of these church folk, they fake, they pretending. The truth still always gonna be truth. Ain't no days off 365, 24/7. One thing I know about truth, when it show up, it's gon' do just that. It's gon' show up. It don't need permission. It ain't about asking. The truth gon' show up with some real understanding. Now it makes sense and I understand why God would never kill the devil. If he did, it'd be suicide. The same God you praise and tell folks won't he do it. The same God that's busy, he's taking you through it. Isaiah 45:7, it demonstrates balance. Your God is also the devil. The truth still always gonna be truth, whether you accept or you reject it. Whether you try to ignore it, go hard to avoid it, run fast away from it or toward it. The truth gonna be truth. The truth still always gonna be truth. If you ready or not, it's still coming. Some people's problems and issue with facing the truth, but sometimes you don't have to. The truth will pull up and face you. That's when you'll find out that your God is also the devil. Isaiah 45:7, it demonstrates balance, which shows you that your God is also the devil. Isaiah 45:7, it demonstrates balance, which shows you that your God is also the devil. Somebody just got woke up. That was a real hard pill to swallow. I know. Why you still trying to pray for me? Just no respectfully, I'm gonna think for you. Somebody just got woke up. That was a real hard pill to swallow. I know. Why you still trying to pray for me? Just no respectfully, I'm gonna think for you. The same God, the same won't he do it? It's the same God, busy and he taking you through it. Isaiah 45:7 clearly shows your God is the devil. Oh, I know. Why you still trying to pray for me? Just no respectfully, I'm gonna think for you. If there's an up, then it's gotta be down. If there's an in, then it's gotta be out. If there is joy, then there's gotta be pain. If there's a sun, then there's gotta be rain. If this sounds familiar, then look all around you. Balance is everywhere, even your Bible. I got some truth that might bring some folk pain. This is the universe, yin and the yang. Yo, preaching, not preaching this, trust me, I know it. Cause these are type scriptures, they don't want you knowing. A wolf in sheep's clothing with plans on destroying. They know the truth, but won't tell you the truth. Wanna keep you asleep in a world of belief. Don't want you to wake up, use your mind, think or read. Cause then clearly you see the truth for yourself. Your God is also the devil.
Now I asked you to take in consideration that the demonstration in Isaiah 45:7, which is clearly showing you, is demonstrating balance in the universe. Okay, so in the song, I tell you, the same God you praise and tell folks won't he do it, that's the same God that's busy and taking you through it. Isaiah 45:7, it demonstrates balance. Your God is also the devil. Balance. The whole universe is full of balance. I make peace. I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So I just got irritated this morning. I ran across Pastor Jamal Bryant here in Atlanta. You know, I'm just so sick of these black churches. I'm so sick of these fake Christians. I'm so sick of people choosing to be willfully ignorant. I'm so sick of people always just feeling like they have to believe in something more than they believe in themselves. It irritates me to my core. It irritates me to my core to hear all these so-called Christians. They talk all this. God, you hear them constantly talking about God this. It's all over social media. God this, God that, God this, God that. You hear them praying. They want to preach to you on their platforms. They want to scream out all this God stuff. God, 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 God. And a lot of these people screaming out God, and I always say this, I am very cautious of people, anybody that's always screaming out God, God this, God that, God this, God that. I'm very cautious of people like that because it's usually always the God, 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 God people that's always caught up in the bullshit. Always caught up in the garbage, always caught up in the scandals, always caught up in the demonic behaviors. It's always it's and then we wonder why people are leaving the churches. So then you'll have these people that'll come out and say, well, it's not about the church. It's about relationships. It's about relationships. Well, your relationship is one-sided. Your relationship is definitely one-sided, and your relationship with these so-called gods that y'all worship and praise is very much favoritism. This God picks and chooses who he wants to help, who he don't want to help. You always got a testimony about how this God did something for you, yet there's other people out there who believe just like you, right? Just like you, who don't get the same they don't get the same help from God, and they believe just as much as you. Now, I watched this Pastor Jamal Bryant guy get on his pulpit, and he's mad because he did all of that, brought Kamala to his church, let her get in the pulpit, let her do her little, oh, joy cometh in the morning. Let her play in the God's face. Y'all let people play in y'all God's face. She came in there, she played in y'all God's face. Y'all black churches, y'all black religious folks, y'all black believers. She came in there, she played in y'all God's face. Pastor Bryant allowed her to come stand in that pulpit and play in your God's face. Allowed her. Queen Storm, what's happening? Eli, what's happening? Allowed this woman to come in that pulpit and play in your God's face. Here's what I want to show y'all. I want to show y'all something. If we really look at the demographic of the black churches, I'm dealing with us because I'm dealing with us. I don't care about the white churches. I don't care about the Catholics. I don't care. I'm talking about us. If we look at who's in the black churches, who is the pastor really standing in that pulpit talking to? I guarantee you it's more women than it is men. What up, Nikki? It's more women than it is men. Let's just keep it real. Women are more emotional than men. They're more emotional than men. Women, and when you're in your emotions, you can't think logically when you're moving in emotion, when you're thinking through emotions. When we go to these churches, when we go, and this is what I like to tell y'all. When these pastors and stuff stand in these pulpits, and I want y'all to pay attention to this. When you go to the white neighborhoods, you barely see churches. You barely see churches. There's maybe one or two main churches in them white neighborhoods that probably the whole neighborhood or the whole community goes to. Okay? But guess what you see when you come in the black neighborhoods? Churches everywhere. Churches everywhere. Every corner, churches on top of churches, churches on top of churches. And when these people get in them pulpits, what are they giving you that really actually are tangible things that you can prove from what they're telling you? 6-1, what's happening, my brother? What's happening? Good to see you, brother. What are you really getting when they get in them pulpits and they tell you, God said this, and God had a word for me, and God did this, and sister this, and let me lay my hands on you, and it's a bunch of false hope. These people sell the black community false hope. They sell you prayer. They sell you fear. This is what they sell you in the black community. I'm going to show you something, right? And this is what I want y'all to understand. I've seen this on social media. It's a lot of people right in your churches who have no morals, no integrity. It's a lot of these fake people on the social media platforms always screaming this God stuff. God, God, God. I'm going to tell you a situation that bothered me recently. Many of you know I stand on what I stand on. I don't care who you are. I don't care if we are friends. I don't care if we are family. I don't care who you are. I stand for something and I stand on something. I don't care if I like you or not. If you right is right, wrong is wrong. Do we all make mistakes? Yes, we all do. We all make mistakes. But when I see people and their hypocrisy, I hate that shit. I hate hypocrisy, especially coming from so-called believers of God, these believers that you're screaming Jesus this and Jesus that. Let me tell you something that recently bothered me, and I had to, it ate my soul up because I like these people, but I had to remove myself from the hypocrisy. Now, I watch people on platforms go after. Now people know myself, Queen Strong, my sister in the chat right here, my sister Neo X, my brother Chris Harris. We have stood on the neck of a guy named Sinetta in this community. Why? Why do we stand on the neck of Sinetta and his platforms? Because they're demonic. They're toxic. There's nothing positive or uplifting coming out of this so-called conscious community, where this platform has a leader who brings all the pedophiles or pedophile supporters, or people with accusations of being pedophiles. They come through his platform. So this is why we stand on the neck of this guy. I don't associate with people who rock with this guy, because to me, you're either just like him or you're in support of him. and what he's bringing to our communities, okay? Which is people harming our children. People are out here harming our children, and the church has a big, the church has been doing it for the longest. And y'all sit in these churches and y'all scream, pastor, 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 and it's the pastor, the main one harming the children. I just recently had a situation where I watched people that I like call out child harmers, abusers on other platforms, people that I like. And I like the fact that they were calling him out. They were calling him out. They were, they were standing on their neck until they had a predator over there, or an alleged a predator. I don't know if I should call him alleged, because the brother is on a registry for a lifetime. He's on a registry for a lifetime. Yet he does the preacher move. He goes onto his platform, or he comes onto their platform, and he feeds them a story of why he's on the registry for a lifetime of harming children. Now, there's evidence out there to show this man's paperwork, which says he violated a 12-year-old little girl. Now, hey, listen, he has a whole story where he says it was because this and that and woo, woo, woo. I don't care. I'm saying you're on paperwork, sir, and you haven't shown no paperwork that defutes that. But you say you have this paperwork, whatever. Listen, man, when I saw the hypocrisy from people that I like, because you like this guy, and you're not going to call him out, you're not going to read his paperwork, you're not going to protect our women, and you're not going to protect. I hate that shit. And y'all are the same ones that get on here and talk this God. But I looked at the demographics of those platforms also. Chris, what's happening with you, Chris? I looked at the demographics of those platforms also. And guess who it was? A bunch of women. A bunch of black women, right? So this is the same thing the pastor does. God. He gets in that platform. You have a bunch of single women, or you have a bunch of lusting women sitting in these chats. Sitting in these congregations and sitting in these chats on social media. And you allow people, just because you like them, to get away with things. I watched people that I like take up for this guy and say, well, he's done his time and the Lord forgives. Well, the Lord wasn't forgiving when y'all was attacking them other people. People can change and the Lord could be doing a thing in his life. But y'all didn't say that when y'all was attacking them other people, when y'all was standing on the neck of them other people. But because you like this guy, you have every excuse of why he can, it's okay. We support him because people change and God is doing a thing in his life, and people don't know about forgiveness. And oh my God, it was this big rant about forgiveness. Well, why couldn't the people over there change? The people that you're going, because you don't like them over there. So you're going to call them out for the same things that your predator friend or alleged predator friend is on the registry for a lifetime for. But he gets a pass because you like him. This is the same bullshit the church does. This is the same thing the church does. Over there in them chats that I was looking at, I had to look at the situation. I said, well, this is a bunch of women over here. They're emotional. They're allowing themselves, because they like someone, they'll sweep their nonsense under the rug. Yet, you'll call out somebody else that you don't like for the same exact thing. I don't like hypocrisy. I don't know how to do the fake shit. Even if I like you, I have to call you on that. I reached out to people behind the scenes. People never reached back out to me. The reason, if I'm reaching out to you, it's because I care about you. It's because I want to protect you from what I see. Because things come back around, believe me. And one thing I've been telling people is be careful who you stand too close to. My name got attached to this guy because of somebody that I liked. My name got attached to this guy because of someone that I like, because she would allow this guy to come on her platform. Somebody tried to call me out and tried to say I support child harmers because I like the lady who allows this guy to come on her platform. No, no, no. I don't even know who you're talking about, sir, but I had to go do my research and see what was being talked about. Once I did my research, I said, whoa, this guy is on a lifetime registry for child harming. Then I saw that even his neighbors are on Facebook calling him out for being a predator in their community. I hate the hypocrisy. These are women in these chats. I had to remove myself. I have no problem with the women. They've done nothing to me. You know, I have no problem with those women. But to watch the hypocrisy and to watch God get thrown in this equation, God this, God that, God this, God that. Oh, it irritates me. I want to show y'all something. I want to show y'all what I'm talking about when I say it's the women in the church. These women sit in the church. And this is who the pastor is talking to. This is who Pastor Jamal Bryant was talking to this morning. Let me make sure I got the right video. Okay. I want to show y'all. This is who Pastor Jamal Bryant was talking to this morning. Let me get the right video, y'all. There's women in the church. It's the women in the church. It's not, you're not going to find too many logical thinking men sitting in church. You're not. It's the women. They play on your emotions. They play on your emotions. They play on your heartstrings. This is what the pastor does. These pastors know this stuff that they're preaching is simply false hope. It's a belief. There's nothing tangible. People come in there with them with problems. What up, G-Dub? People come in there with problems and people leave out with those same problems. People don't take the time to look. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Some years ago, I had a conversation with a bishop who used to be under T.D. Jakes. This guy explained to me how he woke up from religion. This guy is a bishop down there in Florida. He's a bishop. I don't remember his name. Eli, you might remember his name. I don't remember his name. But he was a bishop down there in Florida. And I want y'all to listen to what this bishop told me. Okay? He's telling you about the women in the church, because what he's about to tell you about these women in the church you're not going to find this happening too much to men, because we are wired different. The way we think is different. Women are emotional. And I told y'all, everything about church and everything about religion is feel good. Whatever makes you feel good, whatever you choose to believe that makes you feel good, is all feel good doctrine. Nothing about it is tangible. Nothing about it is anything you can actually prove. Okay? It's all feel good. I want y'all to listen to what this bishop told me. 1 second, let me.
When I made bishop, I was still doing the tithe thing. Matter of fact, I was taught how to manipulate. I was taught from my bishop, resigned bishop. He told me, hey, to get the household, get the woman. He said, if you get the woman, you got the household.
Stop. This is what they're taught in the church. This is a bishop telling you when he made bishop. Once he made bishop, he was taught this tactic. To get the money, you have to get the woman. You get the woman, you get the house. Why? Because men ain't sitting in them congregations giving up all their money, being wooed by some pastor in the pulpit, screaming and yelling and talking hard. It's not the men. A lot of the men that is sitting in there, either they've been there forever or they only coming to please their woman, or so they don't have to hear their woman's mouth. They don't believe in this stuff. But furthermore, a lot of y'all don't believe in this. A lot of y'all don't even believe in this stuff. A lot of y'all are fake believers. A lot of y'all are actually anti-Bible. Y'all claim that y'all know this Bible. Y'all claim that y'all love this God and y'all love this religion and stuff. Yet somebody like myself who don't believe in your religion, your gods, or none of your spookism, I'm able to tell you more about your book than you can tell me about your book. I'm able to pull out things in your book that you didn't even know exist. Why? Because you don't even read what you call God's word. It's what you call God's word. I never would call this any God's word, because what I can prove is that humans wrote that book. You can't prove to me any God anywhere spoke to anybody at any point in time. That book just tells you that. You will skip over intuition. You will skip over consciousness. You will skip over all of that to go to something outside of you. You will skip over all of that to go to something outside of you to believe in. Let me get back to Bishop. Let's listen to what this bishop said. It's a real short clip.
When I made bishop, I was still doing the tithe thing. Matter of fact, I was taught how to manipulate. I was taught from my bishop, resigning bishop. He told me, hey, to get the household, get the woman. He said, if you get the woman, you got the household. That was I was taught coming up. If you get the woman, everybody else would follow.
Let me stop real quick. Because the guy sitting behind me, his name is William Jones. We have our disagreements with the whole Kamala Trump thing, but that's still my brother. You know, we talk our little trash about it, but that's still my brother, right? But he is also an ex-pastor. My brother right here, Eli Taylor, he's also an ex-pastor. So I want you to see how us men will wake up out of this grown-up fairy tale. My brother Chris right here, he don't be on it. He don't be on it. You see how we think? But women are so emotional and can be easily influenced through emotions. I'm not saying all women. I'm just saying this is how women are wired. And you can't think logically when you're emotional. But this is how the pastor gets you. And I want y'all to think about this real quick. Do y'all realize people, to be a pastor, y'all, and I made a joke where I said, man, I'm doing this wrong. You know how easy it would be for me to become a pastor and con all these easily manipulated people. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I know people do this because I got a homeboy that do it. I got a homeboy that realized he could scam the people. And I hate that. I hate it. I don't associate with him. I don't like my cousin. When my cousin told me about that, I asked him why he don't hang with dude no more. He said, I can't, cuz. He said, I can't stand next to nobody like that. But let's ask ourselves, is he really doing anything wrong? Because these people are willingly paying him to lie to them every Sunday. The people sitting in the congregation, willingly pay this man to come to that building every Sunday and lie to them so they can feel good. They are paying, they don't want truth, they don't want facts, they don't want none of that. They come there to hear a word or to hear some singing that makes them feel good. They come to buy false hope. They come to pay for fear. They come to pay for feel good, excuse me. They come to feel good. That's all they want when they come to the church. They want to feel good. And the pastor, aka the spiritual dope man, gives them their drug to make them feel good for the moment. While he goes home to his beautiful mansion, and you leave and go get back on the bus and go back to that house where your light bill is due tomorrow, and you are hoping and praying that this guy, the pastor, this word that the pastor gave you is going to come to, it's going to happen for you because God gave him a word to give to you. You came and gave your last little bit of money, just like a junkie, to the spiritual dope man in the pulpit, and he took your last, and he don't care if you on the streets tomorrow or not. Yet y'all are the most loyal people to these guys. Y'all black people are the most loyal people to these Jesuses, to these allies, to these Muhammads, to these whoever. Y'all are the most loyal people to these imaginary beings. And at the bottom, and y'all are at the bottom of the scale. Our people are still at the bottom of the scale, being mistreated, being misused, living in fear. Yet, y'all praise these guys, still praying for a savior instead of saving yourself, doing the work, realizing that it's you. This is why I played the song at the beginning. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You make the change. Stop waiting for something outside of you to change your situations. But we're so loyal to these guys, especially our women. Our men are going to get up. They're going to go to work. They know in reality, in this realm of reality, if you don't work, you don't eat. Our women want to listen to the pastor. These men, our men go out here and we work hard, and then we pay the bills off. Then we have to come home to a woman who says, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you." It wasn't Jesus. It was me. I went to work. I went and got that. I made that happen. It wasn't Jesus. I'm tired. While you running down to the church to scream and yell at Pastor the pork chop. I'm the one that got to go to work and make sure that understands in this realm of reality, faith ain't going to pay no bills. Belief ain't going to pay no bills. I got to go to work. It's the women. This is why the bishop said he was taught. You get the woman, you get the house. In other words, if you can manipulate that woman, you're going to get the money. Listen to the bishop.
When I made bishop, I was still doing the tithe thing. Matter of fact, I was taught how to manipulate. I was taught from my bishop, resigning bishop. He told me, "Hey, to get the household, get the woman." He said, "If you get the woman, you got the household." That was I was taught coming up. If you get the woman, everybody else would follow. I'm speaking out on this because I been with the Brian Cars of the world. He's from Jacksonville, Florida. I've been behind the scenes. I know for instance, if we come to your town, we know we need $1 amount to raise. And we collect offerings and we go back there, they count the money. And if it's not what we want, we go back and start prophesying. I'm telling you what I've done myself to the people of God. So I know how to get the money. If I get the woman, I got your money. And this right here, I fought myself because I destroyed so many households because of this method that I was taught. I would tell a wife, don't sleep with your husband if he drinking. You know where I'm coming from? Now this caused this man to go out and get him another woman. I'm breaking up houses.
Breaking up households. This is why I played that song in the beginning, right? This is why I played that song, Isaiah 45:7. Is it making sense to you now? Is it making sense? I'm going to play that video again because y'all don't have to stick around. I just want to play that video again and listen to what this man is telling you. In the church, they are doing this. In the church, they do this. Okay? So this is a man who was taught these tactics by so-called people of God. This would be the devil's work, wouldn't it? This would be the devil's work to manipulate people for your own gain, right? So you're supposed to be there as a man of God, but you're being taught devilish tactics to trick the woman because the woman is, in their minds, emotional, easily manipulated. They even put it in your Bible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look how they disrespect the woman in your Bible. They don't respect the woman in these religions, in these Bibles, in these literatures. The woman is the follower. They don't respect the woman. And he's telling you how they play y'all in these churches.
So I've done that.
Wow.
Through ignorance. So I'm a bishop and I met T.D. Jakes before he was T.D. Jakes. This why to this day, T.D. Jakes, matter of fact, he took my phone 3 years ago from the FBI, seized my phone because I had footage on there explaining this, what I'm telling you we did. And they seized my phone.
Wow.
So I know personally, and so when I speak to these Christians today people, I say, I've been behind the scene with these mega churches.
Yeah.
I know when we come, I'm telling you right now, T.D. Jakes, if you ain't got $150,000, he ain't even come out of the couch for you. He's not coming out of the couch for you. It's not about a belief system. And the thing about it is, they know they have no God to that's gonna judge them. They know this is a game. This is a money game.
They know, my brother.
They know this. This is a money game.
They know.
And right now, and when I resigned, when I left my bishop chair with Bishop Carson, I was under the church. I took every dollar that was in the bank account and I divided amongst all tithe payers my last 2 years. And that's when they got me out of church. They thrown me.
Now, y'all. Now, I know I showed y'all this at the beginning of I just want you to listen to what that man just told y'all. And this goes on, this has been going on forever, right? Now, I want y'all to see what I was saying here. I want y'all to see what I was telling you. You see that verse up on the screen? This is what I was telling y'all here.
In the beginning, man created God. And then all the problems started. I remember being young, and I used to always wonder, why wouldn't God just kill the devil? And as I got older, that's when I learned balance.
If there's an up, then it's gotta be down. If there's an in, then it's gotta be out. If there is joy, then there's gotta be pain. If there's a sun, then there's gotta be rain. If this sounds familiar, then look all around you. Balance is everywhere. Even your Bible, I got some truth that might bring some folk pain. This is the universe, yin and the yang. The truth don't still always be true, good or bad, when it's all done and finished. That's just a real deal fact of life. We're dealing with truth, man. That truth don't show up when it's ready. The wind wearing wiser, the visit ain't always appealing. Sometimes no warning is given. The fact you should know about truth is it don't move off feelings. Sometimes the truth don't come pretty. There's so many games being played in religion. A lot of lies told in God's name with agendas. Most of these pastors ain't nearly authentic. A lot of these church folk, they fake, they pretending. The truth still always gonna be truth. Ain't no days off 365, 24/7. One thing I know about truth, when it show up, it's gonna do just that. It's gonna show up. It don't need permission. It ain't about asking. The truth gonna show up with some real understanding. Now it makes sense and I understand why God would never kill the devil. If he did, it'd be suicide. The same God you praise and tell folks won't he do it. The same God that's busy, he's taking you through it. Isaiah 45:7, it demonstrates balance. Your God is also the devil.
This is an uncomfortable truth. This is an uncomfortable truth for people in religion. Because I'm showing you in Isaiah 45:7, we're dealing with balance. I, the Lord, do all these things. Now, what I'm trying to show y'all is, y'all praise these pastors, y'all praise these pastors, y'all praise these pastors, and these pastors are the same crooked folks doing all the nonsense. Now watch this. Pastor Jamal Bryant, who has his own dirty history and still is continuing to be called out for things, had the nerve to get on social media or in front of his platform and disrespect Trump voters because he let that devil woman, now he's supposed to be a man of God, he let that devilish woman who wanted to push drag queens to our children, drag queen grooming to our children. He let that same woman who wanted to push the Planned Parenthood buses, he let that same woman who wanted to push Planned Parenthood abortions, the killing of our children, the extermination of our race, as was said by Margaret Sanger, why she created Planned Parenthood. He let that woman get in his pulpit and push that demonic shit to our people. He let that woman get on there, the same woman that wanted to allow tampons in the boys' bathroom. But the Christians, these fake Christians, these fake believers are so cool with that because they hate Trump. They hate Trump so bad. But they're okay with allowing the Democrat Party to push things like mutilation of children, the Planned Parenthood, which was created by a racist white woman, pushing drag queens in our schools. We just talked about that last night. They're trying to make this alternative lifestyle the norm. They're pushing this. Trump was pushing against this. Trump has made, he said, when I get in there, I'm cleaning up all that mess. I'm cleaning up all that mess. Even though I don't believe in religion, I don't have a problem with him restoring prayer back into school for those people who do believe in religion. If that keeps you sane, if that keeps you out of trouble, if that keeps you walking the right path of life in our universe, in our communities, if that's what you need to help you be a better person in life, I have no objections to him bringing prayer back to schools. This is what I tell y'all, like, y'all not even scared of y'all guys. Y'all people don't even be scared of y'all guys. You will compromise who you are, your morals, your integrity. You will scream all this, God, 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 God. That's right, Eli. Make the truth great again. Because you will compromise who you are because you like somebody. You will compromise who you are. Children are being harmed, and you will compromise who you are and what you believe in because you like the pastor. It's the pastor doing all the dirt. I ask people this all the time. For those of you who believe in these religious stuff and all of that, I ask people all the time, what if religion was put here to show you who the snakes are? What if it was created to show you who the sick people are, who the manipulators are? What if it was put here for those reasons? Do you ever think about that? If a God created you with a brain And with this brain comes tools that help you to navigate through this thing we call life, through this realm of reality that we live in. If this God created you with these tools, comprehension, critical thinking, reasoning, belief, if all of these tools come with that brain, that organ, why would you limit yourself to just belief? You just go, if that's the case, the God that you believe in could have just created you with a brain to just be naive and not think. Y'all ask for evidence of everything else in life, except for when it comes to these religions and these pastors and these y'all say a bunch of y'all get out here and y'all say a bunch of nothing, a bunch of feel good stuff. That's what y'all do. It pissed me off to hear this man, Jamal Bryant, talking to a bunch of our women who came behind Bishop Eddie Long. This is the same church Bishop Eddie Long preached at. He had his scandals, the so-called man of God. Then you got T.D. Jakes at the Diddy parties, but y'all love T.D. Jakes. You got people like Tyler Perry coming in here putting his hands on people, and y'all think this is so beautiful. You got pastors being paid off to manipulate y'all to vote for Kamala Harris, who's pushing the mutilation of your children, who's pushing Planned Parenthood, who's pushing all the evil stuff that America stood up. They came together and stood up and spoke up and said, no, we are not with it. Yet you got these pastors, these bought and paid for pastors. These bought and paid for pastors standing in their pulpit telling our community it's okay to vote for Kamala so we can have drag queens sitting in our classrooms with our children on their laps. We can have drag queens in the classrooms teaching our little boys how to shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. This is what your pastor is telling you. And guess who's sitting in the crowd screaming, go ahead on, pastor. Come on, pastor. Preach, pastor. Talk that talk, pastor. It's our women and our simp-ass men. Our women and our simp-ass men. What are we doing here? It's just so much. This is why the church is dwindling. This is why people are walking away from religion. This is why people are waking up, because we're looking at what you say about your God, but your God is not adding up to reality. What we call this realm of reality. This is why people like myself is I got away from this nonsense. It's all feel good. Some people, I get it, just have to believe in something. It's a shame that you will believe in something outside of you more than you will believe in yourself. I tell you, there is never a time when I would rather walk blind if I had the option to actually see where I'm going. Never. But that's what you do with these religions and these Bibles, these literatures, of all of them. All of these gods work the same. You got a million gods out here and one devil, and that one devil is tearing all these gods up. Why don't y'all see? The God that you serve is also the devil. It's just simply balance. It's how this realm of this universe works. Why doesn't God clean these churches up? If this God exists, why don't this God clean these churches up? This God gives you a good word in the church, but this God also gives you hell in that church. This God gives you a good word that makes you feel good. Somebody's going home feeling good from a good word, and somebody's getting molested in that back office by the pastor. But if God is with us all, why don't God clean this mess up? Isaiah 45:7 demonstrates balance, shows you your God is also the devil. That's an uncomfortable truth. We are in a time now where the truth is the new hate speech. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Nobody. You're a hater if you speak the truth. You're a hater if you speak truth. And what's so bad about these believers and these fake Christians and these fake churches is you can see facts right in your face. And because you're brainwashed to believe, you will overlook all that. You will allow our children to be in harm's way. You will allow it because your pastor told you to vote for Kamala, who is pushing the extermination of our race. And y'all want to cry about Trump. Trump is telling y'all, get that slavery shit up out these history books. Get all that shit up out of this critical race theory, this oppressor shit, this old racist shit. Get that shit out of our school books. Trump is telling you, get that prayer back in schools. Let's get America back to being who we are. Close them borders up. Let's bring jobs back to our communities or to our country. Let's get this. Hey, listen, immigrants, it ain't no problem with you coming over here, but you got to come the right way. This is some of the same thing the other president said, but your pastor is sitting up there in his pulpit telling you to fear. I told you, these churches push fear. They push fear. They put the fear of an imaginary boogeyman in you adults' heads called the devil, and they push this place you ain't never been to, don't know nobody that's ever been there, called heaven to you people. And then they tell you to just believe. Anybody who don't want you to use your brain to think for yourself does not have your best interest at heart. This is why I hate churches. This is why I hate when people can't wake up out of them beliefs. Hey, listen, like I said, some people don't need to wake up. And that's fine. Because some of y'all don't need to wake up. Because the moment y'all find out all of this shit is make-believe, y'all might become savages. So if for those of you who need to believe in something to keep you in line and being a good human being in this world, please, by all means, believe in all this spookism. Continue. But we don't need you out here terrorizing our communities. Because now you know all this heaven and hell, boogeyman, spooky, and all of this bullshit is belief. Those of you who are able to think for yourself, I'm one of them. Do I always make the right choices? Am I always correct? Hell no. But one thing I pride myself on is having my own mind. And when you're a person who is able to think for yourself, right or wrong, right? If you're one of those people, it's not easy to walk this road. You're going to be left alone. You're going to feel alone. There's many times I get attacked and I feel like I'm alone, but I stand on what I stand on. I stand on my morals. I stand on my principles. I stand on my integrity. I don't let myself be compromised. You know why? Because then I can't look myself in the eye. I can't look myself in the eye. This is why you don't have conversations about me talking about people behind the scenes. Because if I talked about you behind the scenes, more than likely I already said it to you or I already said it out loud. There's nothing you can pull up on me that I can't take accountability for, bad or good. You pull some shit up from my past because I got a past. But I don't have no past of touching children. I actually have a past of beating up niggas that have touched children. I promise you. No joke. Hinesville, Georgia, sent the nigga's head through the wall. Knocked down the whole wall with his head for touching on a 9-year-old girl. Hinesville, Georgia. I'm the one that kicked that bathroom stall in. I've never changed. I kicked that stall in. I've never changed. I'm on Sinetta's head. I don't like that nigga. I don't like what he stands for. And I haven't came up. That nigga came in my comment section talking about, well, brother, I never said nothing about you. Nigga, I don't like you, nigga. I don't respect you, nigga. And I won't compromise who I am because you in my fucking comment section. That's the difference between a free thinker, someone who stands on morals, principles, integrity. That's the difference between us. And I get a lot of problems. I get a lot of problems, y'all, because I don't compromise myself. I get attacked all the time because I don't compromise myself. With that being said, y'all, I'm going to end this, but you got to walk that road. I hate the hypocrisy. And I when I saw that Pastor Jamal shit, it irritated me. But listen, man, I don't ever want a problem. I never want a problem. But if they want problems with me, I tell them no problem.
Hey, look, I actually don't want a problem.
I don't want problems, but if they want problems, no problem.
But when they say they want a problem, I say no problem.
Right. And one thing I think people get twisted, right? Just because I said I come in peace and I want to be humble,
they want problems, I can't be a black. They say they want problems with me, I say I don't want problems. But if you want problems, no problem until I'm expired. I know that I'm here for a purpose. I'm holy, I know my assignment. These haters keep trying to destroy me, but they can't destroy me. Good luck with that, they can keep trying. These grabbing the arrows keep coming, and I ain't called for them. They want problems, I greatly oblige. They say they want problems with me, I say I don't want problems. But if you want problems, no problem until I'm expired. I know that I'm here for a purpose. I'm on it, I know my assignment. These haters keep trying to destroy me, but they can't destroy me. Good luck with that, they can keep trying. These grabbing the barrels keep coming, and I ain't called for them. They want problems, I greatly oblige them. No problem, no problem.
I understand that every day that I awake, man, I'm still a work in progress. So I don't want no problems, right? I just want to help my people. But please understand this. If you want a problem,
I am myself and my problem. They say they want problems with me. I say I don't want problems, cause I am myself and my problem. Inside is a monster. You might want me right where it's at, so I break no go pushing no buttons. See niggas be thinking cause niggas go conscious, and niggas say anything, jump out they body. Like niggas still won't put you all in your shit. Leave your ass lit and asleep on the concrete. Now look at you peacefully bleeding and storm. One thing they won't say is that Cali ain't warring. I want that nigga to play with last night, and I promise you I ain't that nigga this morning. I'd rather help out my people, not harm them. Be a solution to problems, not cause them. Our people so full of shit with that crab in the barrel mentality. They will destroy you. There's so many ways to succeed. Yes, you won't go do it. Progress resources, but you won't review it. This is your land, but you train to refuse it. And niggas stay full of them white man excuses. The white man did this, the white man did that. White supremacy is holding me back. Woe is me, I'm so lost, I'm a wreck cause of slavery. OMG, I am your opposition. That's gonna stop your rise and progression. Is niggas around you still crying oppression while they live oppressed on the other direction. They ain't gonna help with your better conditions. I said it before and I say it again. For us to unite, it's gonna take a division. Cause niggas oppress niggas every day. Right where you stay, but y'all don't wanna have that conversation. Nah.
I know. No problem. Yeah, I know. We're not ready for that conversation, right? We're not ready to turn that mirror around and look at the bullshit.
I don't want problems, but if they want problems, I greatly oblige them. No problem.
Also, more breaking news now into the newsroom, a case we've been following for more than a week now. An accused cult leader on trial in DeKalb County has just been found guilty of rape, false imprisonment, and posting revenge porn online. We're talking about Eligio Bishop, also known as Nature Boy. He was accused by investigators of raping a member of the cult back in 2022, and then posting revenge porn of her online after she left. Again, this was the cult he was accused of leading. The judge moments ago said she plans to sentence Bishop later today. Of course, we will be there in court and let you know exactly when that happens.
Love don't come easy, I know.
But we gon' make it
Well,
work, and we gon' fall sometimes without time. But we can work it out, my darling. I wanna love you better. Love you better than a red.
I'm still seeing the strangest things, still see all the evil that money brings. In time you'll see the same, but folks ain't always who they say. In time you'll realize that that mask comes off beyond the lies, and the whole wide world say, I'm still anti-everything. I'm still anti-everything. I'm still anti-everything I mentioned in the last song. Anti-going against anything that I'm standing on. Anti-co-signing what I know is clearly wrong. Anti-being a man but moving with no backbone. Anti-rocking with people with no integrity. But without no morals and principles can't get next to me. My moral compass points me directions that show a better me. I leave my example with some respect for me. These just lessons in life I know that it taught to me. Mistakes I might have made that finally caught up with me in dark times. Be aware about who you talk to. There's a thing out there called a bad look. Might not worry you now. In the moment in present, but it might come back around. In that moment you least suspect it when it do. Just remember every day we make decisions. And bad decisions usually come with consequences like now. Now I see things clearer. I see things I didn't before. It don't matter where you go outside. The world's just one big show. I'm still seeing the strangest things. Still see all the evil that money brings. In time you'll see the same. 'Cause folks ain't always who they say. In time you realize that that mask comes off beyond the lies, and the whole wide world's the same. I'm still anti-everything. I'm anti-everything. Still anti-everything. I'm still seeing the strangest things. Still see all the evil that money brings. In time you'll see the same. 'Cause folks ain't always who they say. In time you'll realize when that mask comes off beyond the lies, and the whole wide world's will say, I'm still anti-everything. Anti-everything. Still anti-everything.
I mean, you took the girl's life. You see, these niggas is crazy. So you know what? I'm sick of motherfuckers always acting like niggas is, somehow the white man is just throwing charges on everybody. As if we don't see niggas down in our neighborhood every day doing sick ass shit. And ain't nobody threw nothing on their ass. They did it. They guilty. But anytime we get up on the internet, man, that nigga, he ain't did nothing.
And that's exactly the point I'm making about standing on your morals, on your integrity, on your principles. It hurt me to see people that I actually like, man, like make excuses for a nigga on a whole registry, man, and throw God in the midst of it. Throw God in the middle of it. You guys, I'm about to get out of here, but before I get out of here, you guys, I know y'all probably getting ready for work and everything, getting kids up for school. I'm gonna play this last video. This is a video that people asked me, how did I get to where I'm at? How did I get here to my way of thinking? And that's the video I'm gonna leave you guys with. And you guys, I hope y'all have a good day. I just think we gotta wake up, man. We gotta wake up. But with that being said, I'm out of here, y'all.
Brother, can you prove to me that you are breathing air? Someone told you that you're breathing air. Show me. No, I want you to show me right now. How can you prove it to me?
You can only go ahead. Go. I'll let him answer first.
So air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although we may not be able to see air, right? Although we may not be able to see air, right?
Right.
Air can be demonstrated that it exists. So, for instance, I can take a piece of paper right now and go outside in the windy city and lay that sheet of paper on the ground. And although I can't see that air, I can watch I can feel a gust of wind come through, and I can watch that air lift that paper up off the ground. Hold on. I can take a balloon and I can blow invisible air into a balloon. Although I can't see that air, I'm demonstrating to you that air exists, right? Because we watch the balloon expand. I can take a flat tire, right? Now I can do this in front of a group of people, right? I can do this. I can take 5 people and I can do this in front of them. I can also take a flat tire to a gas station and hook that flat tire up to a air machine. Although I can't see that air going in there, once I push that air button and that starts to go, I'm going to watch that air that I can't see expand that tire, blow that tire up. Now, the question is, as I showed you, as I demonstrated to you, that although we can't see air, I can demonstrate to you that air actually exists. Now, can you do the same thing with Jesus?
I often ask questions about religion, about gods, about the unknown, things like that, right? Because I need answers. I'd be very curious to get an understanding, especially when it comes to religion. Why do people believe what they believe with no evidence to back it up? Why do we believe things just because someone wrote it in a book for us to believe it? For instance, if we know the book is being tampered with, it's a fact that there has been books added and there has been books taken away. That means the book is a tamper with book by humans. Humans are tampering with a so-called God's so-called word. Now, first of all, we can't even prove that a God or gods ever said anything to anybody ever in life. We can't prove it. We can't prove that this book that people love to follow and quote from, called a Bible, we can't prove a God ever told anyone ever to write one word in that book. So why do we believe this is a word of a God? Why? Prayer. I find a lot of issues with prayer. Now I'm going to ask this question. If we can't even prove that a God ever told anyone to write a word of this book, I know what you believe. I know what you've been taught. I know what you've been brainwashed to believe. I'm talking about facts, though, evidence. No one can prove a God ever in any point in history told a human to write anything in a book. You can't even prove that a God ever told anyone to write anything on a stone. This can't be proven. But we do know humans have done this. They've wrote things and said, somebody told us a God said something. And we just believe it for some reason. Because somebody said it was a God that said it. My question is, if we can't prove a God ever said a word to write in that book, we can't even prove a God ever spoke a word. We can't even prove that a God has any interest in anything in that book. Even prayer. Whoever confirmed that a God chooses to answer a thing called a prayer, something called a prayer, where did that come from? Where did prayer come from? And who said a God said it would answer anything? Whoever said a God said it would acknowledge a prayer? What if it's not a God's job or these guys' job to acknowledge a prayer? What if this God or these guys' job is just to create and either die or move on? Where did prayer come from? Who said a God answers a thing called a prayer? Something called a prayer. Who said that? Who confirmed that any God spoke to anybody about a thing called a prayer? A prayer. Like, who confirmed that a God spoke a word ever to anybody? One person, two people, three people, anybody. Whoever said that a God speaks. Prayer. People always talking about this prayer thing. Who can prove a God even cares about a prayer? Maybe that's not what a God cares about. Maybe a creator gave you a brain with tools to use to figure things out where you're at in this life you're in. Maybe you were created to figure shit out and not just believe shit. You can't prove a God ever said anything about a prayer. You can't prove a God told you to pray. You can't prove a God said he'd answer a prayer. You can't prove a God said he'd acknowledge your prayer. You can't prove a God said he might answer a prayer. He might not answer a prayer. You can't prove any of that. So why do you even believe that? One thing we can prove is that a human wrote that a God acknowledges a thing called prayer in a book that humans have tampered with and called it the word of a God. What if God don't give a shit about a prayer? His job or its job or their jobs or her job was to simply create and move on or die after creation. I just try to figure out, I know what you believe. I know what you were told to believe. I know what you were brainwashed to believe. I'm just trying to understand, why do you believe it though, without no evidence to back it up?
So, I mean, recently I actually had a conversation with a sister who she's kind of new to me. So she asked me, she's heard me mention a few times that I don't follow religion. I don't believe in religions. I don't believe in the existence of a God or any gods due to lack of evidence of a God's existence. Okay, so she's heard me say this a few times. I actually on her platform also. But we had a conversation recently, and she, I guess, was curious. So since we were having a phone conversation, a private phone conversation, and we had time to chop it up, me and the sister talked, and she asked me, how did I get to the point of not believing in religions and not following God or not believing in a God and all of that? She's like, how did you get to that point? And I just basically told her, I mean, it's a lot of red flags when it comes to religions and these man-made gods and all of that. But there's a lot of red flags that just don't make sense with religion, and I refuse to believe that some God who have all these extraordinary claims, I would just hate to believe that this God dumbs itself down to a book, first of all. A book that can be tampered with. All I know is humans wrote these words. I don't know anything about a God writing anything or saying anything. I haven't seen a God. I haven't seen a devil. I haven't seen a heaven. I haven't seen a hell. I'm just more so, when it comes to religion, I look at religion as a fairy tale. All right, we still in the fairy tale movie, right? We still in the fairy tale, and you're looking for truth because that book tells you there's some truth in there somewhere, right? Now we're just looking for truth in the fairy tale. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, but that's not the Bible. That's not the Bible. You can't prove anything in that Bible. So that Bible is pretty much a fairy tale book. You can't prove none of the characters in that Bible. So that Bible's like pretty much a fairy tale. You can't prove Jesus ever walked on no water. So that Bible's pretty much like a fairy tale. You can't prove none of the claims in that book. So that Bible's pretty much like a fairy tale, right? So the same way you can't prove that Jesus walked on water, you can't prove Dorothy clicked her heels 3 times and went back to Kansas. But you can find some truth in that same book that they say Jesus walked on water. You can find some truth in that book, right? And the same way you can't prove Dorothy clicked her heels 3 times and went back to Kansas, we can find some truth.
We can go now.
In that fairy tale.
You okay? Come on.
Since we're looking for truth, there's some truth in there though. So the book's got to be real. So do you believe this story the same way you believe that book? Let's listen.
I'm gonna make it this time. You sure are. Just a little self-confidence and coordination. You're gonna be fine.
Inspiration. Yeah, just a little bit of coordination and self-confidence. You're gonna be fine. Inspiration. Could that be true? Could that be something true? Just get yourself together, right? Could that be some truth in somebody's life? Just a little bit of self-confidence. I'm talking to you right now. Just a little bit of self-confidence to come out that Bible. And you're going to be fine, sis. Just a little bit of self-confidence. You see how we can find truth in a fairy tale?
You mean all this time the only thing standing between hanging up there and living it up down here were those crows?
I told you couldn't do it. And you believed it.
If I only had a brain, I would have figured that out a long time ago.
There you go with that negative thinking again.
There you go with that negative thinking again. See, religious people be like, if I only had a brain. If I only had a brain. And this is me saying, there you go with that negative thinking again. Everybody has a brain. You just have to use it. Could that be truth? Could that be some truth heard in a fairy tale? Right? You see how we finding truth in a fairy tale? That's all I'm trying to tell you. There you go with that negative thinking again. Get some confidence about yourself, sis. Stop being scared. Stop thinking you don't have a brain because you're following some shit that told you to just believe. Use your brain and think, sis. You see how we finding truth? You see how we finding inspiration? And this ain't even in no Bible.
Everybody has a brain.
Everybody has a brain.
Not me. Look.
That's all I keep telling y'all in religion. Everybody has a brain. Use it. Don't just believe shit because somebody told you to believe some shit. Everybody has a brain. Everybody can use logic. Everybody can use common sense. Everybody can use critical thinking. Use it. But you choose to just believe. So which makes you think you don't have a brain because somebody told you to follow some shit outside of you that you can't prove. You see how we can find some truth in here? In this fairy tale.
Oh. Garbage.
That religion shit in your head is garbage. Get that shit out your head. Fucking garbage. It's garbage. Don't get me wrong, get some truth in that garbage. But it's garbage. Get some self-confidence, a little coordination, and you're going to be just fine. See, that's what I tell you. Everybody has a brain. Stop thinking so negative. See, that's what I tell you. And that shit ain't got shit to do with no God. But you got that garbage in your brain. You can't think.
A grown-up fairy tale book. It is also a book of balance. Good and evil. All right? Let me show you what I mean. If we go to Isaiah 45:7, it reads, I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Isaiah 45 verse 7 reads, I form the light. Well, if I got light, I need darkness, right? And I create darkness. I make peace. Well, if I make peace, I got to create evil, right? And I create evil. I, the Lord, not the devil. The devil didn't do this. The devil was created, right? I, the Lord, do all these things. Although the book is a grown-up fairy tale book, it's still a book of balance. Once you realize this, this is when you'll start to understand that God and the devil are the same people. The devil is just God's alter ego that he blames when he does his fuck shit to the world, to the people. Satan is God's alter ego. Yeah, he's God's alter ego when he wants to blame all the bad shit on somebody. He blames it on Satan. He blames it on the devil, which is basically his alter ego. Ask yourself this. God created evil. He also flooded the world because of evil. He also flooded the world because of evil. Yo is a book of balance. God created evil. He also flooded the world because of evil. So he killed a bunch of innocent children, animals, people, right? Because of evil, right? But he didn't kill the devil, right? Look at today. Look at what goes on today. All this evil in the world, God could simply kill the devil and take away evil, but he doesn't. Why does God not take away evil? Why doesn't God kill himself? Kill evil? It would be like killing himself. It would be suicide, because God and the devil of this book are the same people. The devil is God's alter ego. This is who God blames all his fuck shit on, the devil. But if you read the book, God does all the fuck shit in the book, not the devil. God does all the fucked up ass shit in the book, not the devil. We were also taught, right, that the devil can't do anything without God's permission, right? This is what they taught us. This is what they taught us in church. Oh, the devil can't touch a hair on your head without permission from God. Listen to how that shit sounds. So everything you're going through, all the bullshit, all the fuck shit you go through, God gave the devil permission. So what's going on, family? Check this out. I'm glad you're sitting here watching this, right? Now, someone sent me this video and asked me to break this video down dealing with religion, right? I do not follow religion. I do not subscribe to religions. They're man-made. They're created to control the masses. I am a preacher's kid. I've been a preacher's kid all my life. I am still a preacher's kid to this day. My parents are still preachers right now. But at the end of the day, when we deal with religion, we're not dealing with reality. We're just dealing with a belief system, something we were told to believe. No one can prove that a God ever told anyone to write anything in a book. No one can prove that a God ever spoke a word. No one can prove that a God is a he. No one can prove any of these things that you hear in religion. It's all in here. It's all in the mind. It's all a feel-good doctrine. You can't prove anything when it comes to religion. You can't prove anything. This is why religion requires you to have belief and faith. Also, religion has a bunch of contradictions, especially when it comes to that book that you love to follow called the Bible. No one following that book called the Bible would ever be able to make it into a place called a heaven that you can't prove, because this book is full of contradictions. The same book that tells you not to kill tells you to kill. The same book that tells you to honor your mother and father tells you to hate your mother and father. Now, when I was growing up in church, we were taught 99.5 just won't do, right? This is what we were taught in school, in church, growing up. 99.5 just won't do. Now, imagine yourself standing before your God. The same book that tells you to love your enemy tells you to hate your enemy. The devil would be your enemy. The devil in religion would be your enemy. See, once you start to look at this book and you read verses like Isaiah 45:7, you'll come to understand that the God and the devil of this book are the same people. The devil is just God's alter ego that he blames all of his bad things on. Everything he does bad, he blames it on his alter ego called Satan. Ask yourself, why has God just never killed Satan? He does everything else. He kills everything else, everybody else, innocent children, innocent people, but he never kills the devil. You want to know why? Because God and the devil are the same. I make peace, I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Isaiah 45:7. But let's take a look at this video someone sent me, and let me break this video down bit by bit. Let's go.
Let me show you how Satan is deceiving the world.
All right, so let's stop the video there. He starts his video out saying
let me show you how Satan is deceiving the world. Deceive. Deceive. The definition of the word deceive would be to believe something that is not true, typically in order to gain some personal advantage. Deceive would mean to give a mistaken impression. Deceive would mean failure to admit to oneself that something is true. That would be the definition of deceive. So in deceit would be deception. Now see, I would have to stop him immediately right there, right? He starts the video off by saying, let me show y'all how Satan is deceiving the world or whatever, right? Now this is a religious person talking about a Satan. Now, I've never seen a Satan. I've never seen a devil. I don't know what a Satan or a devil is, to be deceived by a devil or a Satan, right? So he says, let me show y'all how Satan, aka the devil, is deceiving the world. Now, for me, I would have to stop him right there and figure out what does deceive mean? What does that mean? So to be deceived, the definition of deceive would be deception, right? So to be deceived, it would mean to cause to stray, to lead astray, to lead aside from the right way, the intentional misleading or tricking a person, typically in order to gain some personal advantage. The act of causing someone to accept as true or valid what is false or invalid. Tricking someone, fraud, ruse, hoax, while imposture. Now, the way that definition sounds, right? That sounds very evil. That sounds like an evil thing to do. Now, dealing with religion, I would have to go back and I would have to find out where does evil come from? Where would this evil, who created something so evil to do, right? So I would have to dig and I would have to figure out where did evil come from, right? So then that would take me to Isaiah 45:7. In this same book that has this same God and this same Satan that he speaks of in this book, where it says, Isaiah 45:7 says, I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace. Oh, here it is. And I create evil. Now he says Satan is deceiving the world, which deception would be an evil thing, a mean thing to do to someone, right? So I have to find out, where did this mean thing come from? Mean equaling evil would come from not the devil, but it seems like it would come from the Lord of this Bible, the God of this Bible. Because Isaiah 45:7 goes on to say, I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, not the devil, not Satan, do all these things. Wait a minute. So you want to start this video off and tell me, how Satan is manipulating the world and deceiving the world. That's such a mean thing to do. But this seems to be something that the Lord did, not Satan. We also grew up being taught that Satan can't do anything to you. I mean, this is just what they taught in the churches. Now, I don't know if it's a lie. The pastor told it. We were also told that Satan cannot touch you or do any harm to you unless he gets permission first from this Lord, from the Lord. The same Lord that says, I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Now, I mean, this is in that book that he's going to want us to fall in love with and feel it's the moral compass of
how we should live life and what we should follow to make it into this afterlife that people are scared of, that they can't prove exists. So I would stop him there. And I would say, are we sure it's Satan deceiving the people? Because, wait a minute, let's go a little bit even farther, right? Let's go a little bit even farther, right? Because if we go into the book, right, we'll find a verse in Jeremiah that will also say, "Oh Lord, you have deceived me, and I was deceived." Jeremiah 27. Now, he didn't say, "Oh devil, oh Satan, you have deceived me, and I was deceived." He said, "Oh Lord." Oh Lord. Who is the Lord? The same Lord that said, "I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things." The same Lord that the devil can't touch you unless he goes first to the Lord to get permission. And the Lord then has to sign off on the devil going to do whatever he wants to do to you. Let's go a little further, right? So you might think I'm joking about that, right? Well, let's look at this. The Bible says one of the commandments is, do not steal, do not lie, do not deceive one another, right? And that's in Leviticus 19:11. So he starts his video off by saying, let me show y'all how Satan deceives the world. And he's going to later reference this same book where the Lord of this book creates peace and he creates evil, something very mean to do. That's what deception would fall under. That would be evil to deceive someone. And even in your book, it says, do not steal, do not lie, do not deceive one another. Leviticus 19:11. Yet, we can also find a Bible verse where the Lord of this Bible, signs off for a lying spirit to go deceive the people. 1 Kings 22:22. And the Lord said, not the devil, not Satan, not the Lord, not Satan. This lying spirit came to the Lord. He didn't come to Satan. He didn't come to the devil to get the cosign. He had to stop. Remember, because the Lord has to give you permission first. The Lord can't do the devil has to get permission first. Because remember, the Lord has to sign off. He has to give the devil permission. Here's more proof. So when the lying spirit came and approached the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, the lying spirit said, I will go forth and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. Then the Lord said, now this is the Lord signing off, right? This is the Lord signing off. And the Lord said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now he starts his video off by saying, let me show you how Satan is deceiving the world. Are we sure this is Satan deceiving the world? Because everybody seems to be blaming the Lord God of this book. The same Lord that tells you not to kill, but then orders killings, right? He orders killings. Let me show you how. Let's look at a situation where the Lord orders a killing after telling you not to kill. This is a biblical account When Owen had sex with Tamar, he withdrew before he ejaculated and spilled his seed on the ground. Since any child born would not legally be considered his heir, the next statement in the Bible says that Owen did evil that God created, which would fall under deception and deceive. I mean, they would fall into that category. The next statement in the Bible says that Owen did evil and that God slew him. Now, what does slew mean? So if we look up the word slew, slew is the past tense of slay, right? Slay, what is slay? Slay is the past tense of slew. It means to kill a person or animal in a violent way. So the same God that tells you not to kill also tells you to kill. The same God that tells you not to lie co-signs for a lying spirit to deceive. The same God that tells you not to deceive deceives. And then you start your video off by saying, let me show y'all how Satan is here to deceive. Although God has to co-sign that deception. So really, is it Satan? Is it the devil deceiving? Or is it the Lord that do all these things? As said in Isaiah 45:7. I didn't make this up. I'm just reading what's in your book. The stuff your pastor don't preach about.
We live in a world where people accept this, but this, they don't want to come near it. They don't want to accept it. They can't accept the words that's in it.
So he shows a picture of the Bible and he says they don't want to come near it. They don't want to accept the words that's in it. Maybe because there's reasons why. Like maybe a reason, maybe the number one reason is maybe because we can't prove that a God ever told anybody to write anything in that book ever. Maybe because that's a problem. See, people who are non-believers or who don't just go through everyday life believing things because somebody told them to believe it, maybe they don't want to accept it because I can't even approve that a God said anything to anybody to write in a book. Maybe I can't prove that, so maybe I don't care what your book says until I can prove that a God spoke to anybody and told them to write a book. Because otherwise, this seems like this is a human who wrote this book in order to control the masses. And this human is writing what he or she wants to write in this book to control the masses. Maybe they don't want to accept the words of this book because there's many contradictions in this book, as I've already stated previously. There's many contradictions in this book. And maybe they don't know which way to go because the same book that tells you to love your enemy also tells you to hate your enemy. The same book that tells you to honor thy mother and thy father also tells you to hate thy mother and thy father, and your brother and your sister, and yes, even yourself, in order to be a disciple of this Jesus God. Maybe they don't want to accept the words of this book because all the words of this book isn't good. It isn't moral. You know, things like killing homosexuals. You know, things like killing atheists. You know, things like bashing babies' heads against the rocks. You know, things like keeping young girls for yourself. And we don't know how young these girls are. Huh? Maybe these are the reason people don't want to accept these words. Maybe things like protecting a stranger in your home, and you send out your young virgin daughter and your concubine for a mob of men to ravish. Maybe that's why people don't want to accept the words of this book. You know, all the stuff your pastor doesn't preach about on Sunday because he only wants to cherry pick all the stuff that sounds good. other things that sound good in this book. Maybe that's why people don't want to accept the words from this book. Because all of that stuff is evil. You know, the evil that your God, your Lord, created to deceive people. Maybe people don't want to accept the words of this book because it's too confusing, right? It's too confusing. One minute you tell me to take things literally, then the next minute you tell me don't take it literally. One minute you tell me to follow this, but then you tell me that's not how you're supposed to interpret it. Maybe they don't want to accept the words of this book because this book is subject to interpretation. Because Baptists don't believe this book the same way Catholics believe this book. Muslims don't believe this book the same way Christians believe this book. Hebrew Israelites don't believe this book the same way Catholics believe this book. You see what I'm saying? It's all interpretation, right? People interpret this book how they want to interpret this book. Why would a God make a book that you would have to interpret? Why would I want to accept the words of a book that tells me lean not to your own understanding? What? What? What's the purpose of me having a brain to think? Maybe that's why people, maybe because some of this stuff in this book don't sound right.
They can't thank God. They won't accept God. They don't believe in God. But I believe in rocks, though. I'm attracted to these rocks. I believe they have power. I believe they can heal me, free me, do all these, protect me, and all this stuff.
Yeah, brother, I will agree with you on this one right here. Yeah, you give up Jesus to believe in rocks. Yeah, you give up God to believe in rocks. Yeah, I agree with you right there, brother. I'm with you on that. I don't believe in no rocks neither. I don't believe in no crystals. I can't prove no rocks have saved anything. This world is still messed up with all these rocks. With all these rocks and these crystals and sage and everything else. Here, these rocks ain't changed nothing either. The same way God ain't changed nothing either. And Jesus ain't changed nothing either. So I agree with you on that.
But this is the problem, though. We're literally having people die over money. People are literally praising money. People are literally giving their life for money. But they can't praise God. They can't thank God. They won't accept God. They don't believe in God.
You ever heard of the Crusades? Have you ever heard of religious wars? Yeah, people are dying over money, but they're also dying over this book you're trying to push, this religion you're trying to push. People die. Wars are fought because of religion, brother. Religion comes out of that book that you're talking about right now. It comes out of that book. These guys that you're talking about, Jesus comes out of that book, brother. The same book that wars are fought over. Wars have been fought over in the past. Look it up. Look it up. Religion is the biggest form of division ever. For religion to be so positive and bring people together, why is there so much division within religion? Baptist, Catholic, Southern Baptists, Muslims, Buddhists, Catholics. I mean, name them all. Why is there so much division when it comes to religion and Christianity itself is divided majorly? Why is there so much division? Yeah, people die over religion. So, not just money, not just crime, not just regular shit. People die over religion and have been dying over religion. Look in history. Look in history. Yeah, you might want to do that first.
But I can't believe in Jesus. I can't believe that there's somebody out there who loves me so much that he died on the cross for my sins.
So if you have an issue with people praising money and worshiping money, maybe you should talk to your God. Maybe you should talk to your God. He created the evil people who do this. He created them. He created the people who use money to deceive people with. He created them. Maybe your problem is not with Satan. Maybe your problem should be with your Lord, your God, the God that you want everybody to believe in. Huh? And then you wonder why people don't believe in God and people don't want to praise God. Maybe because your God is some shit. He's some shit. Read that book before you push that book. Your God does damn near all the evil shit in that book, or he orders it to be done. Maybe that's why people don't want to praise God. Maybe because people can't prove anything a God has done or is doing. Maybe because people can't prove the existence of a God. I'm not talking about what you believe. I'm not talking about what you believe. I'm talking about what you can prove. Prove the existence of a God or any gods. No man has ever proved the existence of any God. When I say existence, I mean to prove the present, that this God is present. No man has ever proved that. Maybe that's why people don't believe in God. Maybe that's a reason. Maybe. Maybe people don't want to believe in this God because they've read that book and they don't agree with this God's moral standards or this God's deception or this God's manipulation or this God's hypocrisy. Maybe that's why they don't want to believe in this God, sir. Maybe people are waking up from the bullshit, the brainwash. Maybe, could that be a reason? Maybe people just believe they're here. They're here in the universe, and this world is good and evil. And I don't need a Bible or a religion to explain that to me. Maybe people are just living life now, and they're not living in fear of some imaginary God or some imaginary boogeyman called a devil or Satan. God and the devil are the same if you read that book. The devil, Satan, is simply nothing but God's alter ego that he blames all of his bad dirt on when he wants to manipulate people like you, sir. So far, we haven't heard nothing the devil has done, but he gets the blame for it all. But God created this devil. God created this Satan. God created the evil. God's cosigns on the devil doing anything to you, right? God cosigns on lying spirits. But you blame everything on Satan. You started your video off saying, let me show you how Satan is manipulating this world. I haven't seen Satan do a thing yet in this video. Because everything you've shown me so far, God created. The Lord did. And then he blames it on a Satan. He created a Satan to have something or someone to blame his dirt on. We haven't heard anything Satan has done. And remember, Satan has to get permission from his alter ego named God. So everything you're dealing with is really God, not Satan. God puts on a mask and calls himself Satan when he wants to do his dirt. Fairy tale and reality. Fairy tales versus reality. There's nothing we can prove from that Bible or these religions. No religion, not just Christianity, no religions. Everything is in your head. Everything is something somebody said and some humans wrote. It's nothing you can prove. It's a lot of reasons with me. One thing is, anything that's good for the slave master ain't never been good for a slave. That was something that really woke me up from out of this religion stuff. And I just really realized this is definitely for control, mind control. It's all mind control. And for a lot of places, if they can control your God, they can control your mind. And I mean, and I see that with us. I see that with us, so-called black people. For instance, you have to make it make sense to me
At what point do you go through everyday life just believing things because somebody told you to believe it, but there's no evidence of you believing it? There's no facts. There's nothing you can look up. Just believe it because I said it. That's very dangerous in the real world, in this realm that we call reality. That's dangerous to live that way. Just walking around believing anything anybody says just because they said believe it. But we do this with religion. We have no proof of nothing that's being said, but we're told to just believe it. Now, I'm a type of person that believes anybody that's telling you to just believe something does not have your best interests at heart. It sounds like they're trying to set you up for something, and it's probably not going to be good. It's probably not going to be good if they don't want you to use your brain to think and they just want you to believe. If we pay attention to religion don't have to make sense. A lot of stuff that we see in religion don't have to make sense as long as you choose to believe. But at the moment you start to think and ask questions, it's not going to make sense to you. That's why they don't want you to think. They want you to just believe. Okay? Anybody that just wants you to believe something sounds like they're probably out to get you in some kind of way. Things have to make sense to me. And with religion, when you put reality up against these extraordinary God claims, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. So a lot of y'all that's been following me, if y'all have followed me, and when I talk to pastors and stuff about religion, they don't like to talk to me. Simply because I'm not going to play the scripture games with you. I'm going to go to reality. I'm going to do a reality check on your God. And usually that's where they run from me, because they know their God isn't going to show up. It's very funny that all of these people claim they talk to this God. But the moment I say, well, listen, can you get your God on Facebook Live, or can you get him on StreamYard or something? Because he don't answer the phone for me. I don't think he likes me. You know what I'm saying? He don't talk to me. So maybe since you say you talk to him, maybe you can get him on a three-way or something. I haven't been able to get one person yet to get their God that they say they talk to all the time. And this guy told them this, and this guy told them that, and this guy told them to tell somebody this, and this guy, and then the moment I say, well, listen, can you get your God on to come on the live right quick? Nobody can get God to come on the live. Red flag for me. It's all in your head. Imagination. And one thing the sister did say to me, and I have to respect her for it. She told me, she has to believe in something. I said, all right, well, I can respect that. I can respect that's your stance. Basically, you're living in fear. And that's what religion rules through. Fear. Religion rules through fear. You fear that you're not going to go to some place called a heaven that you've never seen or been to, or know anybody that's been there. And you're afraid that you're going to fail and go to some place called a hell that you've never seen, never been to, don't know nobody that's been there and came back to verify these places exist. But you live in fear every day of something somebody wrote in a book. Some humans wrote in a book to control your mind. Instead of just living. I'll say this. I just refuse to believe that this creator, whoever, whatever, created us. They gave us this organ inside of our head called a brain. Now with this brain, this is how we operate in life. This is how we operate in the universe. Okay? So with this brain comes tools attached to this brain to help us maneuver